Hello everyone, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Christine. I like to read dark and disturbing things, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my 2024 reading goals and challenges. So let's check it out. We got a guard dog right there. Saving us from all the packages getting delivered in town. All right, so I do not usually make a ton of goals when it comes to reading because for me, reading is about fun. It's about escaping reality. It's my outlet. It is what I find fun. So I don't like to set like a crazy goal. I don't care about how many books I read as long as I'm having a good time. I have narrowed it down to 5 goals. Some of them are overlapping that I would like to get to in 2024. I'm going to apologize for the clicking sound you probably hear. I have like a star on my tree that makes noise, and I really wanted to get some of I needed to get my tree in, and then I don't know if you could see my little fur baby back there. So I thought it was worth the clicking sound. Sorry if it's annoying. So the very first goal that I would like to set for myself in 2024 as a reader is to DNF. I am notoriously horrible at DNFing books that I feel that I should, and then I'm like, no, you've gone this far, you're no quitter. Or what if it gets really good? Or what if you're missing out? Usually it is that I've gone too far to turn back. So, and I don't like quitting things. So DNFing for me has been very hard. I could probably count on one hand how many times I've DNF'd something that I've purposely said, I'm setting this down and not picking it up. It very rarely happens. So I would like to make that something that I do a little bit more often. I don't care if it is a book club book or if it's a buddy read and it's really like, it's like a slog to get through. I need to tell myself that it is okay to DNF a book. I think I'll be happier for it. There are just too many books out there that I really want to get to. And if I'm spending my time reading a book that I don't really love, that probably is taking me a lot longer to read because I don't enjoy it, what is the point? It is okay to say that this book is just not for me and say goodbye to it. So that is number 1. Number 2 is that I would like to continue reading some of the series that I have started. So I used to be very much a series reader because before I discovered BookTube, I never knew what to read next. I would find something I like, and if it was a series, I loved it because I could read all of the books. It's like finding a show on Netflix that you enjoy that has 10 seasons. It's amazing. I would also just read everything that author had ever written. Well, maybe not everything, but a good chunk of it. And sometimes I would stumble into something else that I liked, but I used to be a series reader is basically what I'm saying. And in the last few years, I've definitely grown more into reading single books, especially horror books that don't have sequels, because it's so easy to get to a million things that you see other people that are excited to read, and you want to read them too. It's just easy to get through a bunch of books that you're interested in if you're not stopping to read an entire series. But there have been some that I have started that I have just never continued, and not for any good, not because I didn't like them or anything like that. I just read the first one and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get to that series later. So in my reading journal, have put in a little spot. And by the way, I have an entire video I'll link down below that walks you through the reading journal process if you are interested in that. I go through all my spreads, but one of them that I put in here was a series tracker. So some of the series that I have started, like Poppy War, Veronica Speedwell series, which has quite a few books at this point. I've only read one. The Bear and the Nightingale trilogies, maybe I should knock those out first because there's an ending to it. I only need to read 2 more books. I have The Daughter of Smoke and Bone on my shelf. Kingdom of the Wicked, I read the first one. I really want to get to Gideon the Ninth, but maybe I should finish some before I start some new ones. Darker Shade of Magic, read the first one. Do I even remember it? I don't know if I remember it well enough. And that's the other thing, is that I get scared that I have to reread something, and I don't want to do that. Ninth House, I literally just need to read one book. Legendborn, I literally just need to read one more book. Edinburgh Nights, and Mina and the Undead. Like I said, I want to start reading more of my series and getting those caught up. Speaking of catching up, I need to catch up on a lot of the subscription book boxes that I've gotten in the past. If you've been following my channel for a while, you've probably seen like a million unboxing videos, and I absolutely love book subscription boxes. It is a weakness. I love getting them. I love the surprise of it. And I fully intend on reading those books when I get them. But then I don't know what happens. Yeah. I know part of it was that a lot of them were fantasy books, and I definitely grew more into my horror reading than I did fantasy. And I would like to get back into fantasy a little bit in 2024, at least to make sure, like, if I'm not into it anymore, that's fine, but I need to at least get back into it and see if that's the case, because the fantasy books that I have read, I have really enjoyed, and it's just that I get intimidated by them. They're usually kind of chonky, or they're part of a series, or it feels like a commitment, and that is silly. I just need to dive in. So I do also have a spread in my reading journal, and it's kind of embarrassing when I list them all out, but I made lists from different book boxes and like little check boxes so that I can check off the books that I read when I read them. I think I just get so caught up in people's book clubs and reading what other people are reading that they get so excited about, and I get excited about them, but I need to do my thing. The fourth one is more of a challenge for 2024, and I'm going to link Kelsey from Slime & Slasher, her channel down below, but it started off that she mentioned she wanted to do a year of layman, which is reading a book a month for 12 months of one author, that is Richard Lehman. And I don't know, I was like into it. I'm excited. I've only read one Lehman book. I really liked it. It was messed up. It made me wonder, am I messed up for liking this? Like, I felt embarrassed to admit that I liked it, but I did. It was definitely messed up. I felt wrong reading it. I felt wrong liking it, but that is what I like. I like dark and disturbing things. So Lehman definitely goes there. He's not afraid to go to some messed up places. So I am joining in on the year of Lehman, and Kelsey has picked out a book for each month. I'm starting January with reading Endless Night, and I'm excited. It's not going to be boring. That was one thing when I read that Richard Lehman book. I read Midnight Lair this year, and there was no part in this book that I was bored. I was horrified, shocked, disgusted, all of the things. I like that someone can make me feel those things, and good job, Richard Lehman. So I will be participating in the year of Lehman, and I do also have a spread in my reading journal. Can you tell I'm in love with my reading journal? I guess I've been putting a lot of hours into this for the last few weeks, and so I'm just excited to get started on 2024 reading some of these things. But I have a whole peach spread dedicated to Richard Lehman. Will I regret it? I might regret this. 12 books by any author I think is a lot. Probably, I would guess the author that I've read the most of is probably Stephen King. Most likely. Just because he has so many books. And Richard Lehman has a lot of books as well. So it's hard to find an author that you really love that has that many books, unless they have been around a while. And last but not least, my goal for 2024 is to read what I own. This is kind of in combination with some of the things I already said, reading some of my book subscription boxes, But Ali over at Criminali has created, and you've probably seen this all over BookTube, but the Read What You Own challenge. I tried it last year and I only tried for 25 books. And I think I got to almost 20, 18, somewhere around there. And I don't want to say I failed, but I guess I failed. And my reason for it was that I found that it was kind of dictating what I was reading. So there might be a book club pick or a library book that came in or an audiobook that I had that wouldn't count. And I thought, no, don't read that because you want to get to this number as fast as humanly possible. And I don't know. I have tweaked this challenge to make it fit me, and I think that it will help me be successful, because you're not going to be successful at anything unless you make it work for you. So what I have come up with is I am going to read 100 books, which I know is a big scary number, but I have broken it up so that for every 10 books that I read, I can purchase a book. So at the end, I will have read 100 books, but I will have purchased 10 books. This kind of gives me an out if there is a book I really, really want, or maybe there is like a special edition of something that I come across, and I don't feel like if I break the challenge that I'm just done and wash my hands of it. I can keep going. I've also built in, and I don't want to use this, but I'm going to build in, let's say I have a totally shitty day and I end up buying a book that I haven't earned, I have to add 5 books on to the end. I'm going to really try not to do that. So to make it a little more interesting, I also broke it up into 10 categories. So of course I made a spread. So here's half of it. I've got 5 categories here with 10 boxes. And then on the next page, I have 10 categories with 10 boxes. So I will read one from each category. And once I reach 10, I have earned a book that I can purchase. So I wanted to do it to mix up what I'm reading and to make me feel like I'm not cheating if I read a graphic novel or a novella or something. I obviously don't want to do just all that. The goal is to actually get through the stuff I own. So here are the 10 categories I have picked. To read a YA or middle grade book, to read a new to me author, so an author I've never read before, to read a non-horror book because I am trying to mix up my reading a little bit, to read a fantasy book, I have plenty, to continue a series, do you see some overlap, to read a novella, to read a book by an author that I have read before and loved. So what comes to mind is like Poppy Z. Brite. I read Exquisite Corpse, and I would really like to read some more of their work. Who else? Ronald Malfi. I would like to read more of his work. You get the idea. To read an ARC or a Kindle book. I am horrible at remembering to read what is on my Kindle, which are my ARCs from NetGalley and other books that I have gotten at some point or Kindle Unlimited. So to read a comic or graphic novel, I do have the entire Monster graphic novel series, which does have quite a lot of, if I'm looking over at it, does have a lot of words. And I really love I think there's 2 bound up in one. I really loved it and I would like to continue that series, but I always feel like, oh, that's not a book. So I never think to pick up graphic novels. And comics I put in there because my dad has sent me a lot of stuff that I have I have ignored it, which is horrible. So I would like to get through some of that. And I probably wouldn't normally consider reading a comic for me, like nothing against anyone. But for me, I probably would be like, that doesn't count, but it does because it's on the list. And lastly, a vintage book, which probably all of those layman books would fit that. But I have quite a stack of books that I've picked up at the used bookstore, like older horror books and whatnot. So I would like to get through those. So this will encourage me to change up my reading a little bit and not just stick with one genre. And once I get 10 check marks, then I earn a book and I can purchase something. And I will still be getting my Nightworms package. That's the only book subscription. That is the only book subscription that I still have going. Everything else I have canceled. I also have Book of the Month and Aardvark, but you can skip those every month, so that's not a big deal. But obviously, if I read a book that comes in my Nightworms package that comes in 2024, then it won't count as one of my books that I read. So I just wanted to share that with you guys in case it inspires you to come up with some goals for yourself, or possibly if you want to join in on the Read What You Own challenge. If you check out, I will link Criminale down below, because he will have like the tried and true, like the real deal Read What You Own challenge. But I encourage you to tweak it to be something that will make you successful, because I mean, there's no prize at the end. There's no medal that you win. It is just knowing that you have read some of the things that you own. Because if you're anything like me, you fully intend on reading these books, but you just get distracted by hearing all about all the great books that are out there. And it's easy to keep buying books and not, I just know that they're on my shelf, so I know I can get to them at any time. It's a thing. Anyway, to help ease my guilt and my wallet, I would like to really try very hard at this challenge. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna try hard. I'm gonna do this challenge, because even if I buy books, I still have to add books to what I need to read. I am going to hold myself accountable by putting this out into the universe of my plans, and I hope it encourages you to do the same. Thank you guys very much for watching. I would like to hear if you have any goals, whether it's a number of books you want to read, or a genre or a new author, or something you want to try. I'd like to hear about it. Leave it down below in the comments, and I hope that you guys all have a great rest of the year, and good luck to your 2024 goals. Thanks for watching. Stay spooky.